Hello and welcome to the Old Golden Chat. It's a Crystal Palace match preview this time, so we hope that we can bring you some more information about our weekend's opponents and how they play and how we think Rob Edwards might set up. Little disclaimer: we recorded this on a Thursday night prior to any press conferences because I'm at work tomorrow. There's no point putting it out on Saturday because nobody's going to listen to it and nobody's going to watch it. So this Saturday we are at home, 3 o'clock, Molyneux. It can't be that kind of happened many times this season, can it, Liam?
No, I don't think we've got another one till close to Christmas either, so it'll be a nice
Sounds
rare
about right,
Saturday
doesn't it?
game, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what the Premier League's like nowadays, isn't it? We play
Yeah,
when we play,
full of
and it
money.
doesn't suit anybody apart from them. Oliver Glasner's Crystal Palace might their way to the Molyneux this weekend. They're currently sitting 11th in the league with 4 wins, 5 draws, and 2 losses. So, I mean, if that tells you anything, it's definitely not going to be an easy game for us. Glasner sets up his team really well all the time. I was a massive fan of his work when he was at Frankfurt, and he took Crystal Palace and won a trophy already in his short tenure at Palace. So he's obviously not a bad manager. It's very weird because I think me and you've discussed on a podcast before about the formation, and I think me and Nick have spoke about it as well before, where we talk, can a 3 at the back actually bring you some sort of success? And I think that all depends on transitions and moving parts within the game and your structure. He's doing really well at Palace, in all fairness to him.
I just think they've got a solid 11, haven't they? And you look at the centre halves, every one of the centre halves you could back to win a 1v1 duel. The full-backs, wing-backs are good on the ball and good defensively. Adam Wharton controls every game. When you got Mateta up front too, he's playing for France now. All the big teams are after him. And then you got Ismail Sarr scoring goals behind him. So all over the pitch, they're just a solid setup, aren't they?
Yeah, I really like Adam Wharton. Well, I think everybody in the Premier League likes Adam Wharton. He's got that knack of just kind of what Joe Gomez was doing for us, wasn't he? Picking the ball up from deep. But well, Ruben Neves as well, getting his head up and looking forwards. And whether that's driving forward or whether that's playing balls out wide, it's something that's really needed if you're playing the style of football that Palace have been playing, and you've got your options out wide or you've got your forwards. Mateta's hold-up play has been absolutely phenomenal for ages now. He really does well. He's a big striker, isn't he? He holds up defences with ease at times and makes sure that he gets players involved, whether that be on the wing or whether that's people arriving late in the box. So he's a really solid striker, and he was someone who, when they first brought him in, I wasn't that impressed by him, to be honest, and I think he's just stole the show recently.
Adam Wharton, when he was at Blackburn, I'm sure he was one of the names that we'd talk about on the train coming up before we moved to Palace about he'd be a good player to sign. So he's just took to the Premier League really well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think it says a lot about what could be our future transfer policy to some degree. There is the success stories of people coming from the Championship who've been given that chance and that platform to be able to develop the football and actually go on and be a success in the Premier League, regardless of whether they're at a Big Six club from early on in the development or whether they acclimatise to football a little bit later, Premier League football. And Adam Wharton's a real success story for Crystal Palace, so you have to give him the credit.
Yeah.
Going on formations, Liam, they play very similar to how we started the season with Vitor Pereira.
Yeah, they've got the full-backs as wing-backs that push really hard. Unos, I think, is a really interesting and fantastic footballer for Crystal Palace, to be honest. All over the pitch, like I say, they just look solid. Similar to Chelsea, I think. They've got the 10s that cause an issue, control the games. I think it's going to be a really tough game, but with them playing Strasbourg in the week, and they're going to be massive favourites to win the game, I think the pressure could be on them, and they've got one eye on that game as well in the week. I think it's there for the taking, especially at home.
Crystal Palace are a fantastic team, and they have been for the last 2 seasons, despite us not winning a game. And it might sound a bit too positive, I think, but there is a way in which Wolves can beat any team in the Premier League. You'd probably look at Man City as maybe the only team that we physically can't beat because they are just too good. But, Crystal Palace are doing really well. But there is a way, especially if you've got an identical system to the way that they play. All you need is one player to just be off his game or just make a slight mistake. And with counter-attacking football, you can press high, you can press aggressive and fast, and you can really hit someone on the counter. And look, I think personally, to win a game of football this year, I think it's going to be a 1-0. I don't think we're going to go out and smash a team and then we're going to be back on the road. I think it's going to be a 1-0. We're going to have to sit deep. We're going to have to take up a lot of pressure, but hit teams fast on the break, a bit like we did under Nuno, really. And I think that's the way that he can probably get at Palace. Obviously, they have got the midfielders. They have got really fast wing backs. Daniel Munoz, who you've mentioned, I mean, there's a reason that he's being touted with links of Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid. He's a superb player.
Yeah, I totally agree with it. We'll see. I think it'd be interesting to see a reset up. I think it'd be quite nice if, like you say, a 1-0 win. I think the Molineux just needs that bit of a bounce, doesn't he? We've got a new man coming in. If you didn't agree with the appointment, you're still going to get behind him because I think everyone's got that bit of likability towards Rob. So I think the crowd could be on it. The players, surely they're going to want to step up the game. First game with a new manager, so surely they're going to want to be on it. So hopefully that'll get us in good stead to start the game well. If they come at us and we ride that early storm, we just got to catch them on the break, get a few chances. I think it'll be a game that Palace won't want to have.
I think it's going to be a hard game for them. With them not really knowing how Rob Edwards has really set up this year at Middlesbrough. He has played the 5 at the back, he's played the 4 at the back. He's kind of matched up to teams, then he's taken the game to teams in certain respects. They won't know too much of Rob Edwards' style, and we don't know how they've trained all week and what they're kind of saying. I am genuinely really intrigued to see the lineups, if I'm honest. And let's hope Harry Watling's done some work going forward as well, and being a bit more progressive and counterintuitive to the way that Palace are going to play.
I don't think any of us can predict how Wolves play and our style. So imagine being a Crystal Palace manager. I don't know how you can predict how we set up, to be honest. So that might be another good thing that comes our way.
Yeah. The power of the unknown. Let's hope that Super Rob Edwards can go and pick up 3 points. Before we do move on, actually, Talking Wolves put out a really interesting tweet earlier. I don't know whether you saw it. The last time that Rob Edwards beat Crystal Palace was his first game that he won in the Premier League. It was the weekend after the November international break where they beat Crystal Palace, and he picked up his first 3 points in Premier League. So come on, Rob, work a little bit of magic, you know what I mean? And hopefully thunder strikes twice. Let's have a little talk through how you think that Rob Edwards is going to line up and your reasons for it, mate.
Yeah, so weren't the lineup that I would have gone for personally. I think for me it would have been a back 4, and Fer Lopez and Mateus Mane and John Arias would have been in there to give us a bit of attacking threat. I think that Joe Gomez and Andre are more than capable of having the capabilities to control midfields by themselves. They don't need an extra man in there personally, but I think Rob Edwards will set up this way maybe. I don't think Totti Gomez will be taking out the team just because he's captain. I think Rob Edwards will probably want some type of leader-ish in the team, so I think Totti's going to keep his place. Joe Gomez, Andre speaks for itself. He's definitely not going to drop Larson. I think especially with Tolu's international break, he's not done too well, as he said. I think Larson will start. I was thinking it was going to be Arias or Bellegarde because he seemed to kind of play there against Chelsea, but I'm hoping it's Johnny Arias. I can't be watching another Bellegarde and Chan disaster class again. So I don't think Rob Edwards will take out Chan either because I think he'll want that bit of experience in there. Set up like this, similar to how Luton played when they were in that. They seem to like to have that two strikers with an attacker like Chan who can move out wide with the fullbacks pushing higher up. I think Chachua and Hugo Brenner will be trying to force their fullbacks back as much as they can, but then tucking in when need to. So I think this is how Rob Edwards would set up. But yeah, look, for me, it wouldn't be how I would. I'd want us to go a bit more attacking with Fer Lopez and Mane in there.
So yeah, this is how I think that Rob Edwards will line up personally. Like I say, pretty similar to the way that you've lined up. I just believe that he'll probably go with a 3-4-3. I think from everything that we've seen so far and everything that we've heard, he's obviously going to play with wing backs. So I agree with the 5 at the back formation, and I don't think he was good enough, if I'm being perfectly honest. And despite Moller Wolf having a good international break, I can see Hugo Bueno probably still being in the first 11. I don't think he's done too much wrong for us so far. I've gone with, and I know we tried this at the start of the season with Arias and we wasn't getting the best out of him, but personally for me, I was having a bit of a toss-up between Totti Gomez and Agbadu at centre-back. But I think I agree with you. I think he's going to want someone who's been designated as the leader. I think if Matt Doherty's fit, I think we see a slight change-up. I think we see Krejci on the left. I think we see Bueno in the middle and Matt Doherty on the right-hand side. But I think that's all due down to match fitness myself. But I'll be interesting to see a team line up like this. And I know it's obviously similar to what we saw at the start of the season. But with Fer Lopez and Arias moving as inside number 10s, if there's a way that, you know, in training this week, they've been practicing on making sure that Bueno and Chacho get as high up as possible in possession when we're attacking fast and aggressive. And I think this could work. Because like we say, all through pre-season, we were talking about Fer Lopez and the way that he was shooting from range. And Arias was making some quite intelligent runs into the back post. And in all fairness, Fer Lopez was very decent at arriving late into the box as well and getting some pop shots off. So I won't mind this. I think after the internationals, you know, Strand Larsen managed to score a really decent goal for Norway. No solo goal, actually, and hopefully that brings a bit of confidence into him for the rest of the season, and hopefully he can start getting some goals now. I think Fer Lopez definitely needs that run. Obviously, a shoe-one in of Andre and Gomez. And look, we mentioned it in the podcast the other day. I want to see the best out of Andre and Gomez because, you know, they haven't been still been our best players this season, but they haven't been great. So yeah, we'll see how Rob lines up. Like I say, this has been recorded a day earlier than the Rob Edwards press conference, so we'll see exactly how he's going to line up, or see if there's any fresh injury news coming back from the internationals.
Yeah, I like that setup for what you did. For me personally, I want to see a team with Lopez and John Arias in the 11. To be honest, the best teams or the teams that kind of start playing well got more attacking players on the pitch. Simple as to create. You don't create, you just get under pressure. You sit back. You're just one goal away from losing the game because you can't get back in because you haven't got the players on the pitch to force the other team back. And we've had that all season, haven't we? So I agree with your team there, to be honest with you. So yeah, fair play.
I mean, to be honest, I don't mind the way you've set up. I think that system what you've put in we will see at some point over this season. But we've invested in, you know, not very technically gifted players who are a tall physical presence. So let's see if Rob Edwards can get the best out of Toller and Strand Larsen and see if he can get them playing as a two up front. Like I say, I completely agree with how you've lined up. And there is a world where I could see him playing that way. I just think after Hwang's international game yesterday, and a really poor penalty, and he just looks like a striker that's devoid of confidence at the minute. And I think if we were to play that up front, I think he'd try and put Toller in. But again, he hasn't had enough minutes for me. So that's why I've gone with a 3-4-3, to be honest.
What would your formation be if you were picking? We've gone off there what we think Rob Edwards would do. What would you do? I've spoke about I'd want Arias, Lopez and Mane in mine. What would you want?
I mean, if I were to draw the best Wolves first 11, I think I'd probably go with the 4-2-3-1, maybe. I think there's a world where we haven't got any wingers at the minute, so I could see Bellegarde on the left with Arias on the right and Fer Lopez in the middle, and then leaving Strand Larsen up front on his own. I don't want to bash the players, but I think Hwang's very much a confidence player. And I think to get the best out of Hwang, he needs to have the arm around the shoulder treatment by Rob Edwards. And I don't think that's going to come within a couple of days of trying. I think we all know there's a play in Hwang. A couple of seasons ago where he hit, was it 11 or 12 goals in the season? That was superb. And the goals that he was scoring was so good. We need that Hwang back if we want to stay in the league this year. But unfortunately, he hasn't been able to keep fit. He hasn't been confident enough in games. He hasn't taken players on. He likes to be physical, and we haven't seen that from Hwang this year. So that's why I think that if he were to play the two up front, I think Tolu would be there or thereabouts. But who knows? Let's see what Rob can do. I'm really intrigued to see the starting lineup. I know me and you are itching to go for Saturday. I think it does feel like a new lease of life, doesn't it? So
yeah, I totally agree. I think I agree. I saw a fan put that Foulson can't be ignored now, and like previous seasons where we started doing well, we totally blank out the mess that they've near enough created again, haven't they? So I do agree with that sense. But then I agree with the other fans that are saying that it's got to stay away from the pitch when we start the games. If we want to get out this mess, we've got to try and get behind the players now.
Yeah,
The more toxic the Molineux gets, them players just haven't got it in them to want the ball. They just shy away and they'll just make mistakes and pass back. So,
I agree.
but at the same time, they get paid money to step up and be brave and not
Yeah.
wanting to keep stepping back and passing back. If I was a player and attacker, just get on the ball and try and do something to stop the fans getting on your backs and get us behind you again. Do you know what I mean? So the fans are going to turn up. The players have to turn up to make sure the fans stay inside.
I think with what you've said and with what fans are talking about online, if I was to go about it probably the right way, I would be in the camp of, if we really want to protest against Ferguson, which I can understand why everybody would, it would be everything has to be pre-game. If you want to make your voices heard, pre-game, everybody gets in the stadium 40 minutes early, 30 minutes early, and right up until the music starts to hit where we know that the players are going to be coming out shortly, everything gets aimed at Ferguson. As soon as those players step over that line on Saturday, it all has to be in unity. Every single person has to be aiming for 3 points at the end of the match. We want to give Rob Edwards his best wishes for the game, and that's the only way in which I see that we do it. Songs need to be sang, whether that's from, I know we haven't got many songs created at the minute, but we're a smart fan base. We come up with some corkers every now and again. Yeah, I think the atmosphere has to be absolutely nailed on for Saturday. And I know me and Aaron will be smacking the board behind us to try and generate some atmosphere. So let's roll on Saturday. I am looking forward to the game. Any final thoughts, Liam? Any score predictions?
I think we're going to win the game, to be honest with you. I think
We've
we've got no other choice but to win it. I think it's been nice to see some positivity trying to come out the camp. I think we're going to win it 2-1, 2-0. That's my prediction.
Got some goal scorers for us.
Well, the way Larson scored that goal against Italy,
He's scoring two.
I think he'll nick a goal.
Mm-hmm.
If John Arias can have that bit of confidence, clear goal can come from him. So I think he needs a goal. I know there's been talk about him moving again since our last podcast. I think he's got to step up. If he wants to play Champions League football, he's got to prove that he wants to. At the moment, I don't think he'd play League One football.
Yeah.
And there is a player in there. So I think hopefully he can get a goal to give him a bit of a boost and we can see a different player. What about you?
I'm going to stick with 1-0. I think Palace are going to absolutely pump all the pressure on us. I don't think they want to go in to let us get out of our box, if I'm honest. I can see it being a really tight game. But I'm going to go with a 1-0 counter-attacking goal, and I'm going to give it to João Gomez. Because all of these transfer rumours that have been going on, apparently Man United are going to be paying 44 million.
Absolute Joe.
What kind of shoelaces are they paying 44 million for? I think they might pay that if we get relegated. Not in January, we're reading the most. So, yeah.
No chance. If we sell him for 44 million, we have lost the plot.
I don't even want to think about that. But yeah, I'm going to go with our Samba superstar, João Gomez, 1-0. Let's all get behind Rob Edwards for this first game. And thank you very much for jumping on, Liam. Much appreciated.
That's fine. Thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Let's go. Come on, Wolves. Let's get 3 points. Let's get our first one for the season, and then we can go and stink out the gaff at Villa and take home 6 points in 2 weeks. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Come on, Super Rob.
God, Super Rob.